exciting.
To the wire. And speaking of which, new questions today on whether President Obama is a help or a hindrance to the Democratic Party as we head into those midterms. Now, recently, a couple of weeks ago, the president facing his lowest approval rating yet. 41%, according to a Gallup poll. This could mean a huge advantage for Republicans in November, or maybe not. Kiki McLean, former Clinton advisor and partner and managing director of Porter Novelli. Deneen Borelli is a senior fellow at the Project 21, Fox News contributor. Good to see you both. Kiki, let me start with you. It's not just the nationwide low approval ratings for the president, but John Fund in today's Wall Street Journal pointed this out. In his home state of Illinois, his home state, a poll there finds that by a substantial margin, voters are less likely to support a candidate endorsed by Barack Obama. Is the president hurting his own party?
You know, I don't think, Greg, that this is any different than you've had incumbent presidents historically, particularly in modern history. I worked in that first cycle when Bill Clinton was president, and, you know, he wasn't very popular after that first 18 months. President Obama has spent a lot of his political capital to make headway and make progress on health care, on financial reform, on a lot of his accomplishments. So it's not shocking that that is spent down. What is more interesting to me, if I'm doing a straight analysis on a congressional race, is who's really going to show up. And I think you'll find, and this is true historically, if you're running a congressional race in a specific district, Illinois or anywhere else, you're going to look up and say, how close are we? When do I need his help? When do I not need his help? If you're in a very tight race, you may ask for his help at the very end to help him bring the base home.
In the congressional races, advantage Republicans. Look, that's their headline. You can go to their website, Gallup. But let me move on, Deneen. It might be unwise for you Republicans to get a little too cocky right now, because I'm sure you saw another poll, the Washington Post poll that just came out. Only 26% have confidence in the GOP to make the right decisions for the country's future, and that trails the Democrats at 32%, and it trails the president at 43%. Republicans are not doing much better. In fact, they're doing worse, aren't they, Deneen?
Well, really, what Americans want is a representative government, and government that is going to listen to the will of the American people and not ram policies down our throats like Obamacare. That is what the American people want. And that is evident based on the polls that are coming out to date, where his polls are dropping on a daily basis. And it's because of the debt, the spending, and the policies that he's pushing. The Gulf moratorium, the ban on drilling. He got a report that would eliminate something like 23,000 jobs. People want jobs. We have 10% unemployment. Why would you push a policy that would be detrimental to Americans and detrimental to our economy?
Okay, Kiki, Joe Biden added again yesterday, the blame Bush strategy. Maybe it's working because well, wait a minute, maybe it's working. Don't start shaking your head.
Okay.
Because the president's own pollster, the Berenson Strategy Group, asked in a recent poll, who's more responsible for the economic recession? The answer, Bush 53%, Obama 26%. Are those poll numbers driving the blame Bush strategy?
No, I think well, first of all, it's the Berenson Strategy Group. So so when folks go to look it up, they'll be able to look it up correctly.
The Berenson.
The Berenson Strategy Group. I think what you're talking about here is an understanding of where there is a positive economic plan to move forward versus where you're rolling back. A lot of this conversation, as you know, Greg, was driven yesterday by Mr. Boehner's speech in Cleveland. The Republican leader gave a speech laying out his version of an economic plan, which started by calling for the resignation of Obama officials, which didn't seem like much of an economic plan to me. So I do think that people believe that we are beginning to stabilize some. We have so much work to do. We are not in a forward position yet.
Where's the
but I
stability
think that people
with
understand the
10%
difference.
Unemployment? Where's the stability where they spent they wanted the $787 billion in stimulus, but we still have unemployment that's through the roof?
All right, I don't want you guys to go at it here. Deneen, I got a question for you. There are several prominent African Americans who are coming out swinging at President Obama. In academia, I'm thinking of Dr. Cornel West, who's expressed frustration and disappointment in the president. Spike Lee has hauled off several times and ripped into the president. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it just tells me that more and more people are waking up to the fact that Obama is not the Messiah that he purported to be when he was running for office. If you look at his failed policies, Obamacare, which was rammed down our throat, it's not going to provide health coverage for all Americans. It's going to be very expensive, and there's a veil of uncertainty regarding jobs. Employers don't want to hire. And even Wall Street recently came out and said that there's concerns about a double dip and another recession. So these are the issues that need to be taken into consideration here.
Deneen Borelli, Kiki McLean, good to see you both. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.